Hello and welcome to Melomaniax, the podcast where we take unbiased deep dives on the biggest musicians and artists of all time. I'm your host, Ashton.
And I'm Dallas. Today we are wrapping up our breakdown of the 70s, one of the greatest decades in music. We're going to decide which year out of all 10 years of the 70s was the king of 1970s music. But before we get started, please take a second to follow us on YouTube, subscribe, like, comment, whatever you feel, wherever you're listening to this. We're on Apple Music and Spotify. If you could drop us a review, we would really appreciate that. It helps us get up in the rankings. We're also on TikTok and Instagram. If you could give us a follow there, that would be much appreciated as well. And finally, we have a Patreon, $5 a month. You're going to get a lot of cool perks with that, including the ability to vote on episodes and topics, much like the one we're talking about today. So with that out of the way, let's dive in. Last time, we got all the way to 1974, and we realized, oh my God, there's a lot of music. We got to make this two parts. So now we're picking up part two right at 1975. Ashton, do you remember which year is in the lead so far?
That's what I was just trying to think of. I want to say was it 73? I want to say it was 73.
I don't remember. I pulled up my notes and I realized I didn't write it down, so that's cool. I think it was 74.
74?
No, that sounds wrong.
That's what I was like. I don't think it was the last year we ended on. It was 72 or 73.
I think you're right. You're right. I think it's 73.
But
okay. With that in mind, let's dive into 1975.
The 1975. Let's go. Just kidding. I don't know. I can't remember why they named their band after that. I read about it once. I just can't. The information did not stay in my brain.
Of course it didn't.
Yep. Unfortunate. Let's see. We skim through these events in music right here. I'm not seeing anything like too crazy.
Yeah, I mean, Alice Cooper's now a solo artist. That's kind of cool.
What was the band part of, or before? I can't remember. I thought it was called Alice Cooper.
Yeah.
Still.
Yeah, that's a good point. I'm not sure.
Oh.
Pink Floyd released their 9th album, Wish You Were Here. We're going to get to that. Let's go ahead and dive into the music.
Yeah, that sounds good. We'll start off with some January, and I'm seeing some fresher names here.
Oh, actually, here we go. I was drawn to Christmas Day, December 25th. Bassist Steve Harris forms Iron Maiden.
Oh, they were 75. I didn't realize that like a bulk of their music was through the 80s then. If they were...
Yes, most of it, yeah.
Okay.
I would say that was their heyday, was probably late 70s, 80s.
Gotcha. Yeah, I actually, I know some Iron Maiden. I don't know like enough that like if I met an Iron Maiden fan, they'd be pretty upset at the lack of Iron Maiden that I've dove into.
Yeah.
But definitely one I got to get on there. So anyways, let's look in this January. I don't really see a whole lot here in January.
Well, we get our monthly Elvis album.
Yeah, we got our monthly Elvis album. We do get a Michael album, Forever Michael.
And that was his 238th album.
230.
I'm just kidding. It's his 21st.
Oh, jeez. I was like, what? That's crazy. Tower of Power with a little album in there. Okay. Gonna go down to February. Ooh, AC/DC High Voltage.
And this is Australia only and their debut album.
That's right. That is their debut. Okay.
Yeah, that's awesome. We get Led Zeppelin Physical Graffiti. That's big.
Rush's second album, Fly By Night.
Alice Cooper's Welcome to My Nightmare, which I believe, as we read earlier, was his first, I guess maybe under the name Alice Cooper. I'm not sure exactly how that's going to work, but
let's see. Yes, got their first greatest hits album. It looks like they had been popping up. I think they have like 3 or 4 albums by this point. John Denver, An Evening with John Denver, first live album by him.
Kansas releases their second. John Entwistle, that's his 4th solo. He's the bassist from The Who.
Oh, okay.
One of the great bassists of all times.
Let's see.
We're moving on into March. We get Dressed to Kill by Kiss. That's their 3rd. Interesting album cover there.
Earth, Wind and Fire, David Bowie with Young Americans. Parliament. Let's go. Forgot we're in the heat of disco and that dance scene.
Yep, for sure.
Moving along, Chicago. Leonard Skinner, Nothing Fancy.
That's their third. Yep, I saw that. Jeff Beck, Blow by Blow. That is a very famous one from what I remember. I'm not that familiar with Jeff Beck's stuff, but I remember knowing that name. So,
Bad Company.
I say the name I know is Blow by Blow. Of course, everybody knows Jeff Beck.
Bad Company.
That
second
album stands out to me as someone.
Straight Shooter.
Straight Shooter.
Peter Frampton.
He gets his fourth.
Just called Frampton.
Eric Clapton.
Steely Dan. A lot of. Why do I know Golden Earring? That sounds familiar. They've got to have a song that I know. Oh,
I don't know.
Hit song Radar Love. I know that song for sure. Yep.
How about Leslie West releasing The Great Fatsby?
Great Fatsby?
Yeah. And it features Mick Jagger on rhythm guitar. Interesting.
Really? That's a weird choice to pick
Leslie
somebody
West
for guitar.
is the main guy in the band Mountain.
Oh, okay. Mountain's good.
Mississippi Queen, right? You know.
Yep.
We get Journey's debut solo album. If you're familiar with Journey, their first 3 albums are very like progressive and weird.
Who's their singer
their
back
fourth
then?
album. It was Greg Rowley, their keyboard player, and he was also the singer for Santana. It's him singing Black Magic Woman.
Oh, okay. Gotcha. So that's who sings their leads for the first 3?
Yeah, so I mean, we can talk about Journey another time, but they do 3 albums of like progressive weird stuff that's not gonna be famous for sure. Mm. And then their manager made them hire Steve Perry, and then they put out the album. I forget I think it's called Infinity, with lights and Wheel in the Sky and that kind of stuff.
Gotcha.
And there's a couple tracks on that album where Steve Perry and Greg Rowley trade off.
Oh, like in
vocals, and those are really good songs.
Alternating things.
Yeah, Aerosmith released Toys in the Attic. That's a very famous one.
Yep, big. I was just looking at that big album.
That's Sweet Emotion and Walk This Way, just to name a few. ZZ Top, half live, half studio. Their fourth, called Fandango.
Nice.
The Doobie Brothers Stampede, if you remember way back from episode 1.
We got ABBA releasing their third album, ABBA.
You know we love that.
Oh yeah, King Crimson, another one of those.
A lot of these people.
Have been Nazareth, Hair of the Dog. 6th album.
Oh hell yeah, great one.
I didn't know they're Scottish. That's cool.
Moving into May, we get James Taylor and James Gang, and then another monthly Presley album by Elvis. I mean, he released one in January and one in May. Like, come on,
killing it.
But the Jackson 5, meanwhile, it's 1975. They're releasing their 10th.
I didn't know the Jackson 5 continued on for so long during Michael Jackson's solo career. This is kind of opening my eyes to that timeline a little more.
We get another Elton John album. I'm not familiar with this one. Captain Fantastic and the Brown Dirt Cowboy.
Oh, God.
Amazing name. Amazing art.
Oh, man. Why? Captain Fantastic and the... Dude, I just recently read this. It was in one of our other episodes. I was doing the research for it, and it was in one of the books. One of the band members remembers having this album, and it might have been Hootie and the Blowfish.
Really?
Yeah, it might have been Darius Rucker that was talking about this album. That's who it is, and that's who I'm thinking in my head right now. But I was like, Captain Fantastic and the Brown Dirt, because I remember reading it, and I was like, huh? I've never heard of that Elton John album. But man, God, I wish I could remember. I do think it's somebody from, I feel like it's Darius Rucker that was talking about owning that album. I could be wrong, though. But the timeline
then we have the bands Camel and Hot Tuna, of course.
Hot Tuna, baby.
Got to get some hot tuna, which actually would not be good. All right, we're into June now. The Rolling Stones releasing a couple.
Double side?
It seems to be just like a special thing. One of them is compilation, one of them's like outtakes. But then, hey, forget about the Rolling Stones. The Eagles release One of These Nights.
Let's go.
Great stuff. I read an article the other day. I should have posted it in the Discord. I forgot. It was the big four of boomer dad rock. Any guesses as to who they might be?
Boomer dad rock? So this will be This will be like early 80s, late 70s timeline, right?
Probably older than that.
Probably older? Okay, so just like...
It'd be like slightly older than our parents. Our parents were like on the young side of it.
I gotcha. So it'd be people who heard the music in the 70s, like, and maybe late 60s. Dad rock. Old dad rock.
There's 4. I don't know if I can even remember all 4.
Are the Eagles part of it, since that reminded you?
Eagles are 1.
Okay. I'm trying to think, because like dad rock in my head is not what the music sounded like back then, so it's hard for me to like associate. Neil Young, maybe? Anything that he was a part of?
Not big enough.
Not big enough.
I mean, think of the biggest bands of all time. Name like the 4 biggest bands of all time.
I feel like it's like, if it's all from back then, I feel like it's like Eagles, Journey.
Nah, Journey's too new.
Too new? That's before then. Are the Stones on there?
Yeah, Rolling Stones are 1.
Okay. Rolling Stones, Eagles. I hope the Beatles aren't on there.
Beatles are on there.
They are? Okay.
And then there's one more.
So the Beatles, the Rolling Stones, the Eagles, Led Zeppelin?
Yep.
All right.
Nice. Yeah. Nailed it.
Man, that's dad rock back in the day?
Boomer dad. I think the boomer part's pretty important.
Okay.
Because we think of dad rock now as like stained, like working on your motorcycle.
That's how I always associate like
stepdad 4 times
down, and like. Now there's some good gems in there. Like I feel like Trapped falls in that, but God, that has so much nostalgia with us. Yeah, dude. Like,
one of the best memes of all time is we sat down with the Trapped fan.
That's the Trapped fan.
All right, let's get back to it. Jefferson Starship, Red Octopus, Uriah Heep.
Turn to fantasy.
There's
I don't think
Young.
I know Uriah Heep.
They've had some stuff.
Neil Young, Frank Zappa, Bob Dylan in the band.
Interesting.
The Carpenters.
Oh, hey, KC and the Sunshine Band. It's their second, also self-titled. That's weird, man. I really thought that we were going to have a debut right there. That sucks.
It looks like it too, right? And then you hover and it's like
we're coming into the disco funk kind of stuff in the next couple years, so that's cool. Black Sabbath released Sabotage.
Oh, dude, Fleetwood Mac released Fleetwood Mac. 10th studio album. That one had...
That's the famous album cover right there. That's got...
It's a famous album cover, but their most famous is still Rumors. But that one, sure. There's songs on that one that I definitely feel like I know. Yeah. Oh, that one has Landslide. That's what it is. That was the song I was thinking. I was like, what on earth is the big song
favorites.
on there?
REO Speedwagon.
Did you say Black Sabbath Sabotage? That's good.
Yeah.
Yep. Nice. Which Hall & Oates? Where are they? Oh, yep, there it is. Daryl Hall, John Oates. God, that album cover.
That's pretty wild. They look like women with a mustache.
That was I believe that's the whole point. But that's funny. Oh, dude. Is that Herbie Hancock's Man Child? I feel like that has Watermelon Man on it. It does not. Sad.
We get Springsteen's Born to Run, which that album cover, by the way, I mean, that holds like 1975. That could have been released last year. That album cover, just the font choice, everything is so modern. Still today.
Oh yeah, dude, it's so good.
Crazy how timeless that one is.
If you do like a white and black like really well, it's got that like timeless feel to it.
Yep. We get the best of Michael Jackson.
Nice. Killing
it.
And
then here we go. Ohio Players. Here we go. Some funk stuff. Now that's the 7th album by them, but
yeah, for sure.
But they're starting to maybe come into the front a little bit more than they have been in the past. Marshall Tucker Band, and then here we go. Kool and the Gang. It's their 6th.
Spirit of the Boogie.
Allman Brothers' 5th. It's weird. All these bands start popping up, but it's like their 5th, 6th album.
Right.
It's like, where were the first 4?
Not big enough, I guess. Ooh,
Grateful Dead, Rainbow. It's their
September
first
looked
album.
like a good. September looked like a good month here. Rainbow's first.
That's really
Kiss
cool.
Alive.
That's probably their most famous album. It's one of the most famous live albums of all time. And it's one of Kiss's most famous albums. Oh, the version you always hear of Rock and Roll All Night, I believe, is from that album.
Thin Lizzy's 5th. Pink Floyd's Wish You Were Here.
9th.
But that was a big album.
Here's something interesting. Crosby and Nash. So obviously they became Crosby, Stills, Nash, and then they became Crosby, Stills, Nash, and Young. How far were they going to take it? Crosby, Stills, Nash, Young, Smith, Steve, and Winston.
Every time you add a member, dude, add a name.
Yeah, they got to start putting the drummer in there, the saxophone guy.
Oh, dude.
Bumpus.
Scorpions. I don't think about them often. And then I remember just a couple of months ago when Nicole and I were in Scotland and we were going through like an old record store and like the Scorpions came on, but it wasn't a song I knew. I just know the singer's voice. And I was like, and it just opened up like this. You ever just not think about a band for a long time or their songs and then you hear it and it just opens the floodgates of memories? It was kind of like that moment.
Yeah, that's a band.
Yeah, that's like how the Scorpions were, or Scorpions were with me. I was like, oh my God, I forgot about those guys. Respectfully.
Release another one, Caress of Steel.
The 3rd. Nice.
Electric Light Orchestra, Tower of Power, John Fogerty. This is all post CCR. They've been done, which is kind of crazy.
Leo Sayer. Yeah, I can't believe how short-lived that band was.
Hey, we get Ted Nugent's solo album. Interesting.
Kansas. ELO. Another, their 5th.
We get Montrose's 3rd. That is, I believe, the first thing that Sammy Hagar did.
Ted Nugent's Ted Nugent, which is debut. Okay. He actually got it right.
I know. He did it. Down in October now. The Who. The Who by Numbers.
Mm-hmm. Ooh, Paul Simon's
Art
still crazy after all these
Garfunkel.
years. Yes, I love how Paul Simon and Art Garfunkel released solo albums like 3 days apart.
That's really funny.
Art's like, I got
John
mine out
Lennon, Shaved
first.
Fish. Another Elton John. I mean, these people are releasing 2, 3, 4 albums a year.
Yeah, man. Oh, wait.
I wonder what changed
10th studio album.
where that's not the case anymore.
Maybe it became too expensive. I'm not sure.
Commodore's 3rd album.
Barbara Streisand,
That's really cool.
Dr. Feelgood.
Really cool. All right, November.
Yup.
Deep Purple, Come Taste the Band.
Chicago with their one number apart from where they're supposed to be. It says 9, but I think it's their 10th.
It's like they did, you know, Chicago 1, Chicago 2. The 3rd one was just called something, and then the 4th one's like Chicago 3. You're like, wait.
Yep.
The best version of that is Chicken Foot. They have Chicken Foot, their first album, and their second album is called Chicken Foot 3. Just to make you crazy, being like, is there a second one I missed? Queen releases A Night at the Opera.
ABBA's Greatest Hits comes out. The Kinks. Which I gotta look at the album cover for Night at the Opera. Okay, I know that album artwork right away. Now, Supertramp, Crisis. What Crisis?
Not a ton of stuff I'm recognizing here, to be honest.
I'm recognizing a lot of the bands, but not necessarily these albums.
Yeah, I'm down into December where we get Styx, Equinox, and AC/DC TNT. That's their second one. That's pretty cool.
Oh, dude. Here's a shout out that you won't be familiar with, but Burning Spear's album Marcus Garvey, which is like a super classic for reggae. I've listened to that album many times all the way through.
Interesting. Where is this one?
It's in December. Burning Spear. Yep. They're one of the OG reggae groups. I know Bob and the Wailers have been doing their thing for quite a while, but Burning Spear is one of those early Jamaican reggae groups.
A Burning Spear looks like it's just the guy. Winston Rodney, better known by the stage name Burning Spear.
Oh, it is just the one guy? So I always just associated that it was a band because it was called Burning Spear.
And Bob Marley and the Wailers released Live.
Oh, that same month?
1975. Yep. Like a few days before.
Oh, yeah, you're right. Right before. Oh, dude, I think you said it, but AC/DC's TNT, nice. Didn't they release their
Looks like
debut
it just came out in
early
Australia
in the
first.
year? And then this is their second one this year?
Yep. All right, that's 1975. How do we feel? I think we haven't topped 1973 yet.
There was a lot of juice here, though.
Yeah, but I don't think we've topped 73 yet.
Yeah, there weren't any like the biggest albums. Like
there were some big boys, but nothing crazy yet. I don't think.
Guess we'll move on to 76 and see.
Let's do it. Yeah.
Let's see. Gotta go through all these events and music real quick just to make sure there's nothing crazy happening.
Yeah, I see a lot of stuff about. Oh yeah, here we go. I remember talking about this the other day. The Who's Keith Moon collapses on stage 10 minutes into a performance at the Boston Garden, and they had to I believe they ended up pulling a fan on stage to finish the show or something like that.
Really?
And you'd think oh no, is he okay? I'm pretty sure he was just wasted. Dude.
Oh no.
Come on, man.
That was very common back then. Oh, dude, I see. Yeah. We'll see it when we go through the albums. But the Ramones released their debut, which means punk is having its birth.
Mm-hmm.
The old 1, 2, 3, 4s. Oh, Boston with their debut. Boston. This is going to be a big year.
Are we diving in? Let's dive into the months. Dive in. January.
I'm getting too many spoilers.
We get Elvis Presley's monthly album, January. Here we go. Right off the bat, Peter Frampton, Frampton Comes Alive. That's another one of the most famous live records ever because Do You Feel Like We Do has the famous talk box.
Oh, that's that. Okay, that's from that one.
Yep. David Bowie's 10th. That is wild.
Right.
Journey, we get their second. This is the second of three, if you remember. They got to go through three ones that are like, dude, what are you doing before they get to the good stuff?
Did Bad Company have any good albums apart from their debut?
I'm not sure, but their first had a whole ton of hits.
That's why I was like, all the Bad Company songs I know are from the first album, so I'm not sure how many points they're necessarily getting by releasing albums.
This is weird. I see Jimmy Buffett for what I seem to remember is the first time, but it says it's his 6th studio album.
Huh. Yeah, I don't remember seeing much Jimmy Buffett. Havana Daydreaming.
Click on that one and see what's on that album.
Yeah, I'd be curious to see. I'm gonna keep going a little bit below there. I keep seeing Loggins and Messina, but I haven't really dove into their music. I've listened to them a little bit.
No big songs on this one, by the way.
No? Okay. Golden Earring, Willie Nelson, Leonard Skinner. What is this? Their 4th. Diana Ross has her 7th, called Diana Ross. Ooh, Genesis. Their 7th.
Jeez. Here we go. All right, this might make the whole year. Eagles released their greatest hits, which today is still one of the highest, greatest selling albums of all time. I think it's number 2.
Oh, it came out this year? Nice. Dude,
you know what's funny? They released their greatest hits, which we could talk about this when we do the Eagles more. Do you see the years? Greatest hits 1971 to 75. Hotel California, which is their biggest album, I think came out 79.
Oh.
Or their biggest song, rather. So they released a greatest hits that went on to be the greatest selling greatest hits album, I believe, of all time. I'm going to go confirm real quick. Before they released their biggest song.
That's crazy.
I mean, they're killing it.
Oh, yeah, for sure. My grandma loves Eagles.
Yeah, dude, that's such a grandma move. I love that.
Real quick on this Genesis album, A Trick of the Tail. I was reading on it just a little bit because I was curious. This is the first album to feature Phil Collins as the lead singer after Peter Gabriel left.
Nice.
So I didn't.
I'm going to give you, I
know the
found the
history.
certification here for the Eagles' greatest hits. I'm going to let you guess how many times it's gone platinum. And I'm going to add them all up. The whole world. How many times this album's gone
whole
platinum?
world.
Mm-hmm. Which I will tell you is not that much more than just the U.S.
I'm gonna guess 32 million. So 32 times platinum.
42 million worldwide.
Damn,
38
I was off
United
10.
States.
Jeez.
It
I
went,
was gonna. My first
pretty
initial
good.
guess was gonna be in the high 40s to 50s, and then I was like, that's probably a little ridiculous. Nope.
It did pretty well.
Yeah, that's not bad. They might not have to work after they retire.
Yeah. So 1976 has one of the greatest selling albums of all time dropped. So I think that's a pretty big win for it so far. What else? I mean, Kiss released Destroyer, dude. That's their fourth. That's their most famous album, I believe. No, that's not the live one. That's their most famous studio album.
Yeah, I
understand.
recognize the artwork on that one.
Doobie Brothers released Taking It to the Streets, which is where Michael McDonald comes in to play.
It is.
I mean, 76 is taking the cake, I think, so far. Judas Priest released their second. Thin Lizzy released Jailbreak, dude. Rush released 2112. I'm still in March.
Wait, Rush is 2112 this year? I knew they were due for a hit because, like, they're.
George Benson released Breezin'. That's his biggest thing, from what I know. Great song. Great album.
Let's see.
Kool and the Gang.
Love and Understanding. Joe Walsh with a solo album. All right, Led Zeppelin's Presence.
I mean, just in March alone.
Yeah, March was crazy.
This one's taking the cake.
Oh, dude, Black and
Jay
Blue
Giles.
by Rolling Stones. I feel like that's one of a notable one.
That's a famous album cover. I don't know what songs are on it. A lot of these bands that release so much music, I have a hard time figuring out what's on what. There you go, Ramones, their first one, that iconic album cover.
Oh, yeah.
Elton John, Here and There. Bob Marley again. Some other stuff, and then we're into May. Aerosmith released Rocks. That's one of their. I remember reading Slash's biography. That's one of the albums that made him want to play guitar.
Really?
That's one of their most influentials. AC/DC released High Voltage, which we know is their first, but this is now internationally released.
So when they released their first one, was it just released in Australia? Or was it just...
Yes, their first two. They've released two so far only in Australia.
And then this is the first one. Okay. Oh, dude.
This is the first one getting released into international.
Warren Zevon.
Billy Joel's Turnstiles.
Nice. Warren Zevon with his second. I'm a big Warren Zevon fan.
He did Werewolves in London, right?
Yes. Oh, dude.
Jesus, dude. Aretha Franklin, she's releasing an album. It's 24th.
24th?
Crazy. Yeah.
Changes
Elvis
one Bowie.
releases another one.
Yeah, is a big one. UFO? No Heavy Petting.
Ohio Players. And then we get Sammy Hagar's first studio album.
Oh,
we get Steely Dan's fifth.
Stevie Miller Band, Fly Like an Eagle. Ooh, it's a good one.
Yep.
Coming out.
Jeff Beck, Wired. I've heard of that one. The Beatles is a compilation. They've been done for a minute.
Yeah.
Rod Stewart, A Night on the Town. That is his seventh.
Neil Diamond, Alice Cooper. Alice Cooper Goes to Hell.
Another Alice Cooper, yep.
Grateful Dead. Oh, dude, that album covers like the classic logo of theirs.
Yeah, it is. REO Speedwagon released REO. That didn't seem to be.
I feel like Commodore's Hot on the Tracks. That album artwork looks familiar. I could be wrong though.
Yeah,
right above it. I feel like I've seen that before.
That had their first number one on it. Wild Cherry released Wild Cherry. Let's play that funky music.
Oh, dude. Boney M with their debut. They're the ones that did that Rasputin song. I don't know if you've heard it.
I don't know that one.
It's a disco-y kind of song. I'll have to play it for you after this. Dude. I love Parliament's album titles. The Clones of Dr. Funkenstein. Oh.
Yeah, dude, look at that art.
Ooh,
Talk about an art that did not age well. It looked like
Kiss, dude.
Yeah. Black Kiss.
Exactly.
Ian
They were
Gillan releases
the
his
rival.
first as Ian Gillan Band.
Who's that?
Earl
Why
Haggard.
do I
Just
know that
curious
name?
what number this is. 20th.
Oh, Deep Purple. Okay.
Yeah, he was the singer for Deep Purple. Grand Funk Railroad has their 11th. Jesus, dude. Dolly Parton. What number is this, Dolly? 17th.
Oh, dude, Boston's Boston. Whew.
That is, I mean,
that's a heater. Man for Man's Earth Band.
I just saw them, yep, and we were wondering who they were, and then we remembered they covered, famously, their hit was the cover of the Bruce Springsteen song.
Hall & Oates with another one. Dude, look at the Hall & Oates one. It almost looks like a Boston album cover, like mixed in with Hall & Oates.
Yeah, it kind of does. They saw that, and they were like, dude, we got to do that.
Right? And then they have the Ritz crackers right there, getting a
We
little
are only in
advertising money.
September. Moving into September. AC/DC drops Dirty Deeds Done Dirt Cheap. Only in Australia. Interesting album art. Never seen that.
Oh, let me see this one for the Dirty Deeds.
Oh, dude. Stevie
I've
Wonder
never
drops
seen that
Songs
one.
in the Key of Life.
Did he really this year? Oh my gosh.
And then Rush has a double live album called All the World's a Stage. Ted Nugent does Free for All. Earth, Wind, and Fire do Spirit.
Bee Gees with Children of the World. This is where they really start doing their big disco hits.
Their disco sound, yeah.
Yep. This is where they're really hitting their stride and making the Billboard 100 like #1 and stuff.
Triumph released Triumph. I didn't realize they went back to the 70s. I thought they were an 80s band. They were one of the more technically advanced and like better all around like 80s glam metal bands from what I remember, if this is the same Triumph.
Oh, gotcha.
But for whatever reason, they just did not get as big.
Dude, I gotta dive into ELO. I think I've liked a good bit of what I've heard.
Cool.
I just don't know them too well.
Kansas released Left Overture. That's a famous one.
That's another band that, like, based on the songs that I have heard, like, you know, the radio stuff, the common stuff, I'd really like to dive into that band. They've probably got some great, like, hidden tracks.
And then here's a bunch
in
a row. Led Zeppelin's Song Remains the Same. Black Sabbath, Technical Ecstasy. Elton John, Blue Moves. Bob Seger, Night Moves.
Oh, I love that album so much.
Styx, Crystal Ball. Ohio Players, Gold. That's a compilation, though. Casey and the Sunshine Band released their 4th studio album titled Part 3.
Yep. God.
It's a pretty big October. We're in November now. George Harrison releases the best of George Harrison. So he had a greatest hits outside of the Beatles, just himself. That's pretty funny. We get Tom Petty's debut.
Dude, the Jackson 5 renamed themselves to the Jacksons. I didn't know that.
That's cool. I didn't know that either. How about Tom Petty and the Heartbreakers debut?
Oh, dude, another good one. That's
huge.
Oh, yeah. Kiss with their Rock and Roll Over. Al Green, Have a Good Time.
The Scorpions releasing Virgin Killer with a pretty uncomfortable album cover. Jesus Christ.
Oh, God.
It looks like a child.
I think it is. But
and I don't love the place of that crack.
Yeah, dude, that is
Jesus.
That's a German band for you, right?
There.
I guess.
Yeah. 1976. All right, Doobie Brothers, Best of the Doobies, of course. Is that the album cover? Nope, don't recognize that album cover. Must have been a different one I had. Foghat's 6th. Oh, here we go. I was wrong. It wasn't 79. It was 76. The Eagles released Hotel California.
Oh, okay.
So, I mean, that's it. Boom. Done. This year's over, dude. This year alone, the Eagles released their greatest hits and Hotel California. Queen releases A Day at the Races. I mean, this is the top year so far, and I think it's not even close.
Dude, Blondie with the debut. Blondie. Another big one in December. Not to throw that one on the back burner.
Crazy.
Yeah, this year was insane.
76 is the king right now.
For sure. And I don't even think it's close right now.
It's not even close. Now, 77,
there's some good years coming up.
Star Wars.
Oh, does that count? The Star Wars.
So it wins.
So, okay. It just automatically wins with Good job, John Williams. You 177. All by yourself.
Let's dive in.
I'm
going to skip the news. Let's get straight into it.
Get right into them albums.
Ramones, I assume they're second. Yep. David Bowie. Here we go. All right, right off the bat, Jimmy Buffett, one of his biggest albums, Changes in Latitudes, Changes in Attitudes.
Okay.
That has Margaritaville on it.
I know that
others, I believe.
One from the album artwork more than the name. I haven't actually dove into Jimmy Buffett.
Actually, honestly,
but
just Margaritaville and then the title track are the two biggest ones by a lot. Okay, interesting. He was one of those guys, I think, that had like 1 million albums with like one hit off each.
Yeah, I listened to his
whole bunch of deep tracks.
I've listened to his greatest hits, like one of his great, like his essentials or one of his greatest album? Hits. Maybe, yeah. I listened to like one of those all the way through, and that was about it so far.
Well, Pink Floyd drops Animals. That's pretty cool.
Oh, dude, yeah, I love that album.
It's their 10th
album, or Animals is like, it's that album that like a Pink Floyd fan will really enjoy, like specifically, right. Like, you know what I mean? Like it's really one of those ones that like big Pink Floyd fans will be like, Animals is awesome. But if you're not a Pink Floyd fan, there's probably not much for you on that album. I don't know if that makes sense.
Sammy Hagar, second album, self-titled.
His solo work?
Mm-hmm. It's also called the Red Album because there's a lot of red on the cover. It also includes his first anthem, which was called Red, which is also the basis for his nickname, the Red Rocker. So a lot of red on that album.
Oh, I never knew that about him.
We get the debut album from Cheap Trick.
Ooh, okay.
And then, we get Fleetwood Mac Rumors.
One of the top 10 albums of all time.
Yeah.
Not in my opinion. That's just like the music facts. Like one of the greatest selling.
Well-deserved. Yeah, I would agree with that.
Oh, for sure. Tons of hits on it.
Unfortunately, this year's a wash because we get a Jethro Tull album. Just kidding. We get Peter Gabriel's solo debut.
Okay, yep. This is just 1 year removed or 2 years from Genesis. Saw. Which one? What is on this one? Sledgehammer is off what album? Because that's. Oh, this one had. Wait, Modern Love? Is that the same Modern Love that like David Bowie does? Is one of those two a cover?
We also get Journey's third progressive album right before they start doing actually good stuff. And there is some good stuff off these. I'm joking. But what I want you to do is pull that up and look at Neil Sean's afro. Because if you didn't know,
I am staring at it right now. And I was about to make a comment about it. I was like, dude, look at that afro. Oh my gosh.
And I joke about those early albums. There's definitely some really good stuff on there. But it just wasn't Journey yet. It's not the Journey you or I know.
Yeah.
Same with Pantera. Their first 3 albums or so were like glam rock. And then they kind of found their own thing, you know. We get Foreigner's debut.
I see that right above that though.
Their debut has Feels Like the First Time, Cold as Ice, and Long Way From Home.
Yeah,
just knocking it out of the park.
Dude, they release a lot of hits per album. They're one of those ones.
Also,
they have a lot of hits.
I was gonna say they're the king of. Yeah, I know that song. Who does that song?
True.
And it's always Foreigner.
Dude, what do you think about my entry here? Pace Ashton Lord.
Yeah, that's pretty dope. Yeah, you should have done better album art, but that's all right.
Yeah, I know. I went with the suggestion.
We get the debut from Iggy Pop a day after our monthly Elvis album, which is his, doesn't say. They just lost count. They were like, dude, I don't even know.
I don't know. Ooh, AC/DC, Let There Be Rock.
Let There Be Rock. Very famous album cover. Australia release only, it looks like.
Why are they holding out from the world? The world loves AC/DC.
Commodores, we get their 5th, and this is the artwork I recognize, so I feel like there's some good stuff on this one.
Yeah, that's it's also self-titled. Let's see, Jeff Beck with a group, Jan Hammer Group, Ohio Players still doing their thing.
Yeah, I love the Ohio Players. Judas Priest, Sin After Sin, that's a big one.
Supertramp with their 5th. Okay, The Clash with their debut. The Clash.
Dude, no way. Jonathan Cain, the first solo album by keyboard player and guitarist Jonathan Cain, most famously, obviously, he's a part of Journey, and he wrote Don't Stop Believing and a whole bunch of other hits by them. However, this is way before he's in the band.
You said what's his name again?
Jonathan Cain?
Jonathan Cain. He has a solo album on here? Oh, down
he's
at
the very
bottom.
bottom of April, the last entry in April.
I see. I haven't got down there yet. Kenny Loggins has his first debut. So Kenny and Messina or whatever, or Loggins and Messina, I guess, are not together anymore. He also starts writing some songs with Michael McDonald around this time.
That's awesome. Why do I know the band Sweet? What was their song?
I don't know. That's not standing out to me.
It says The Sweet. Interesting.
Sweet.
I'm going to go see if there was a big hit they had.
Dude, I love how they're still just releasing like Beatles content well after the Beatles have been broken up. Just holding on to all of that success. Probably not even them, just the recording company recording this random live album from one of the shows they did.
I think this might be why I know them. Axl Rose had referenced Sweet as one of his favorite bands.
Oh.
Alongside Queen. So I don't know that I actually know Sweet, but
you've just read about them.
I've seen their name in a biography a bunch of times, probably.
Roger Daltrey with a solo.
Yeah, I saw one of his last year.
Oh, how was that?
Hey, David Coverdale released his first solo album, and it's called White Snake. And he would then go on to use this album as the title of his band, originally called David Coverdale's Whitesnake and soon just shortened to Whitesnake. So this is kind of the genesis of Whitesnake here. David Coverdale, of course, coming off of leaving Deep Purple probably a year or two before this. So that's pretty cool. Genesis released an EP. I'm not sure if you said that. Dixie Dregs. I'm catching up here. We get their debut. They're a really cool band.
Steve Miller Band, Book of Dreams.
Heart's their third, actually. We do get 38 Specials debut. That's pretty cool. Oh, Ted Nugent releases his biggest, probably, I would guess, Cat Scratch Fever.
That's right, I love that artwork, the iconic.
Yeah.
Dude.
Well, he's a nut. Yeah, it's crazy. What a guy that guy is. Hey, here we go. There it is. Bottom. Star Wars Episode 4, A New Hope, which at the time would have just been called Star Wars.
Dude, you weren't kidding. It actually did make it on here. Huge.
That's insane. I was kidding. It just happened to be. I didn't think it would be here. I mean, I knew it came out this year, but I didn't think it would actually be here. We get Greg Allman's second solo. The debut by Prism.
Oh, dude. Bob Marley and the Wailers, Exodus. Basically, their biggest album.
Nice. Let's see.
Jay Giles Band. What is this? Their 7th. Goodness. Oh,
Crosby, Stills, and Nash.
They added Stills.
Kiss drop Love Gun. Also, back to what you just said, I just saw that was their second one as Crosby, Stills, and Nash. We must have missed their first one, or it might not have been on here. Kiss released Love Gun, another big one.
Oh yeah,
we're going through the Kiss heyday right now. Like, they are killing it.
Yeah, this is like the heat of the climax of their career right now.
I would say so. We get the Village People's debut.
And Styx, Grand Illusion.
And we finally get the final album from Elvis. It's his 24th and final studio album. It was released June 19th, 1977, and it was about 2 months before his death. So it was a mixture of live and studio work.
I recently listened to like a whole biography thing on Elvis and all those movies he was doing. It's because the first couple he did were actually really big hits. And his manager just kept signing him up for awful movie after awful movie. He didn't care. He just was like, a lot of the constant stuff you're seeing him release is really pushed by his manager, who was a crooked guy. And the reason that he was an illegal immigrant, his manager was, and the reason I told you Elvis didn't get to travel internationally to play is because if they were to have tried to go anywhere, he wouldn't have been able to get a passport and he would have been kicked out of the country. So he just kept coming up with lies and stuff like that to keep Elvis in the country so that he could keep making money. And he was making like, he also sold all of Elvis's masters, and Elvis got like 20% of the cut, and the manager got like 50% or something like that. Elvis just got absolutely fucked over by this guy left and right. But because Elvis had enough money to take care of himself, his family and friends, which he was really good about. He like, if you knew Elvis, like he would just buy you cars, buy you stuff. Like you would just, he kind of like really shared his wealth. But because he had more, he grew up so poor because he had like an amount of money. It never really raised any flags that his manager was just absolutely screwing him over.
Yeah, he might not have been the guy that just needed more, you know?
Yeah, and that's what it was. That guy just wanted more and more, and the greed and of that. And Elvis just was like, well, I've got like a house for my family and friends. We can buy what we want. So we're pretty good. We're not poor, so we're happy. Type beat. So.
Crazy how rarely you hear someone say like, I have enough. I don't need to go get more, you know?
Yeah, right. He just like playing music because that was his thing, man. Oh, dude, I'm talking while I'm reading, and Motorhead with their debut here in August. Motorhead.
I was just about to bring that one up.
I don't even know what's on that one. I don't know a whole lot of Motorhead, but I know people love it.
I don't either, but they have some really good stuff. Doobie Brothers.
Dude, they're one of them.
Line.
Motorhead's Motorhead.
Yeah, that's badass.
I didn't know that. Let's go.
Trifecta.
The trifecta.
Rush, we get their fifth, A Farewell to Kings.
Mm-hmm.
Cool name, Dysrhythmia. Released by Split Ends. They're a New Zealand band. Interesting.
Oh, the Animals.
Are you seeing anything else in here? Thin Lizzy, Bad Reputation. That's something. Elton John's Greatest Hits Volumes 2. We get Chicago.
I love it. Their 9th studio album called
I'm not
11.
crazy here, right? That's 11. Yeah,
yep.
Chicago.
They're now, they're now 2
11.
ahead of where they're supposed to be.
Guys, maybe they just messed up.
You know what? They play music. They don't have to count. They don't need to know how to count.
That's insane.
Guess not part of the.
We get Steely Dan Aha. That's a big one.
Mm-hmm.
It is pronounced Aha, right? I would imagine so.
Yeah, I read it in my head as
actually.
I read it in my head as Aja, but that was just like making fun of that. It's probably Aha.
Rolling Stones, Billy Joel, The Stranger, huge album.
Ooh, big album. It's a great one.
We get another Ringo, unfortunately. We get Hall & Oates, Beauty on the Back Street.
It should have been Ringo, the fourth and final.
Yeah. October, Elvis in concert. Still.
Right up till the day. Kansas still doing their stuff. Kiss Alive 2.
Yep. I think that one is not as famous as the first one, but still obviously very good. They're a live band, you know, that's part of their thing.
All right.
Leonard Skinner's
David
fifth,
Bowie's Heroes.
And this is Leonard Skinner's fifth and their final, it sounds like, with the original members still in place. Oh, we get Meatloaf's Bat Out of Hell. That's huge. That's his debut.
Yep, that's a big album. Sex Pistols.
I'm seeing Queen, ELO, Sex Pistols. Yeah, that's their.
I'm trying to see if that's
studio album.
Oh,
wow.
That's the only one. Dude,
wow,
Sex Pistols is one of those shirts that like every band you go to see, like one of the band members is wearing a Sex Pistols shirt.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy.
Like, oh, dude, that Queen album, that album artwork, super familiar with it. News of the World. It's right below the Sex Pistols. News of the World. Yep. I've seen that album artwork.
Oh yeah, of course. What's on this one? Let me pull it up.
Many places.
The track listing for this one. You ready for this? We Will Rock You. We Are the Champions. Sheer Heart Attack. All Dead. All Dead. Spread Your Wings.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
There's another side, but that's pretty. I mean, that's it.
It's right off the bat. That's yeah.
They started strong.
Oh yeah, not a forgotten one.
Dolly Parton, what is this, her 88th? No, it's her 19th. Santana. Sammy Hagar coming in again. He's firmly in his solo days. Triumph again. Rod Stewart.
Ray Charles.
Nice. Riot, their first album. We played with them on the boat. I hung out with their guitar player for a lot.
Hey.
BG Saturday Night Fever.
Big one.
That's the one.
That's the one.
Earth, Wind, and Fire, All in All. And then Chic, self-titled.
Nice.
Now, that's their debut. And they have a song called Say Chic, right?
I believe. Ooh.
Dang.
Caught me mid-yawn. Oh, dude. Another Parliament. Beautiful titled Funkatelically versus the Placebo Syndrome. Parliament with
Those guys just live in a different place in their head.
Yeah, dude.
They're just coming up with all these like movies. All right, so the Funk's gonna come to town and attack Godzilla. All right.
The CC Top with their best of already. I feel like they haven't had that many releases up to this point, but I guess they were
Paul Simon's greatest hits. Joe Cocker's greatest hits. That brings me to December. Aerosmith releases Draw the Line. Shout out Aerosmith. They just retired.
Aren't they on their final little tour right now?
They just retired. They canceled everything.
Oh, they did?
Yep.
That's crazy. What I on the Vikings podcast I listened to, they just did a for what is it called? Like they did like a charity auction. One of the things that people bid on were to go see Aerosmith here in a couple weeks with one of the members.
The Black Crowes are opening too. I assume not anymore because it's all canceled. Steven Tyler had some sort of injury and he's not going to be able to recover vocally, so they were like, we're done.
Okay. Damn, that sucks.
Eddie Money's debut. Ohio Players.
Eddie Money. Do you want to try and pronounce that one in the middle?
Which one? Oh, yeah, geez. Bjork Guodman's daughter.
I think you just killed it, dude.
Guodman's daughter.
You don't belong in America, man. I think you just
she's
annihilated
that. This is just Bjork. There's Bjork. I understand why she goes by Bjork now.
Yeah, right.
I didn't realize that was who that was, but yeah, it's just her.
Bjork.
Noted for her distinct voice, 3-octave vocal range. People read that and think that's impressive. Like, I'm pretty sure I have 5 octaves. Like, it's not hard to stretch the range. Now, what's usable? Not all of that for sure. But 3 octaves is really not that much. And then the very end of the year, we get Suicide, self-titled debut. I don't know them.
Me neither. Well,
all right, 1978.
Yeah, 77 was not. I mean, it had some good stuff, but not close to
lots of 76. Good stuff. But 76 is still.
It ain't no 76.
Heavy. All right, here we go. We're in 78. We are bringing home the 70s, my brother.
All right.
Let's see.
I'm just scrolling down to the albums. Right off the bat, I see one of my favorite albums.
What's that?
Warren Zevon's Excitable Boy, which has the song Excitable Boy. It's got Werewolves of London.
Nice.
It's bunch of hits. That album is so good, start to finish. That's one of those ones that I don't pick a song. I just play it from the start and always listen to the whole thing when I listen to it.
Well, right after that, we get Journey's Fourth, Infinity.
Yeah, I just saw that.
Their own.
Yep.
With the hiring of Steve Perry. Pretty much it. We're moving into February. Judas Priest, Stained Class. But more importantly than that, Van Halen's first album.
Oh, nice.
1978.
Nice.
They're coming in, and that's a lot of people agree is their best.
What are the tracks on that one?
Running with the Devil, Eruption, You Really Got Me, Ain't Talking About Love, I'm the One, Jamie's Crying, Atomic Punk, Feel Your Love Tonight, Little Dreamer, Ice Cream Man, On Fire.
Wow, what an album. Holy.
And Ted Templeman doing the producing on that, the guy from the Doobie Brothers.
Yeah, you're not wrong. That is one of their best ones. Great debut. Jeez.
It has, pretty insane. Ted Nugent releases a live album.
This Blondie's second? Yep. Blondie's second album.
We get Quiet Riot's self-titled debut, released only in Japan.
That's right. We saw those guys recently. You played with them. They were all kind of quiet in the house.
Oh, Quiet Riot. Yeah.
Yeah.
You were there. Yeah, you were there.
No,
yeah.
They kind of kept to themselves, but they were a bit older than the rest of us crowd, so I get it.
Yeah. I remember walking in from we played at a lake and we stage dove into the water to end our set. And I'm walking up, the long path to the house. We're staying in like a house. And I open the door and I'm just standing there soaking wet in jeans and bandanas and all the stage clothes and stuff. And there's Rudy Sarzo, their famous bass player. He's played with Ozzy and everybody. He's just standing there looking at me like cocks his head like a dog, like the hell?
Yeah.
I just walk in the house soaking wet like, oh, hey man, you jumping in? He was just like, no, like very quietly.
Yep.
I was like, all right, cool. See you out there. Like,
yeah, I felt kind of awkward in the house with them because they like showed up.
Interactions.
Yeah, I was just like chilling on the couch. I can't remember who I was talking to, but they kind of showed up into the house and it was like, oh, those are like the big guys, but they seemed pretty quiet to themselves. That's fine. You don't have to be extrovert off stage. Maybe you spend all of your energy for the performance.
Yeah, that's what I tend to do too. David Coverdale releases his second, called North Winds. So this is pre-Whitesnake.
Oh, okay. Still.
Because a lot of the Whitesnake stuff was in the 80s, I think. So he's still kind of getting his feet under him, I guess, to figure out what he wants to do with that. Jimmy Buffett, though, releases Son of a Sailor. That's a very famous song. Let's see if there's another song on there.
Oh, dude.
Oh, Cheeseburger in Paradise. I love that song.
Bob Marley and the Wailers, Kaya. I like that one. It's a good album.
Yeah. Genesis, and then there were 3.
Which actually just represents the leaving of the 2 other members.
Phil Collins is still there.
No, I know that it's in the album from the previous year when I was reading it. It says last album that included like other drummer, not Phil Collins, but they had another drummer and another guitar player, and both of them left, and now there's just the 3 left.
Interesting.
Once again, we'll have to dive into them because that story I know nothing about, and it sounds like it's really good, probably.
Well, 1978, we get the debut album from Prince.
Ooh. Big Prince fan, which we will do his episode.
Hits included are Soft and Wet, which is about a pool, and Just As Long As We're Together. Also about a pool.
Also about a pool. I knew it.
All right, you ready for this? I'm going to read the personnel involved in making this album. Here's what Prince did. You ready?
Yep.
Take a breath. Lead vocals, backing vocals, electric and acoustic guitars, piano, Fender Rhodes electric piano, clavinet, Art Pro soloist, Art string ensemble, Mini Moog, Poly Moog, Oberheim four voice, Yamaha CS80, bass, guitar, drums, Pollard Syndrome, slapstick, wind chimes, finger cymbals, hand claps, finger snaps, didn't need to credit that, water drums, bongos, congas, brush trap, bell tree, woodblock, producer, arranger, engineer, dust cover design.
Jeez. Yeah, I knew he was, when Prince does something, he does nearly all of it himself, but that's crazy.
That's crazy. Also, his second album was called Prince, so that's pretty funny.
Let's go.
He missed out.
Rick James with his
We'll get to
debut.
that next year, though. I saw it comes out next year.
We got a Rick James debut here. Come get it.
Nice. Another Ringo album guy, just no quitting that guy.
I like how Kiss is like just trying to... Oh, it's a greatest hits album called Double Platinum.
That's hilarious.
Did it go double platinum? That'd be too good.
I don't know. REO Speedwagon with my personal favorite. You can tune a piano, but you can't tune a fish.
It went one time platinum. Lame.
All right joke, but a really good album.
You can tune a piano. Yep.
Willie Nelson's 87th album. Just kidding. 22nd.
22nd.
We get AC/DC's Power Age. We also get Tom Petty and the Heartbreakers' second album. And they have some good art, Tom Petty and them.
Yeah, they do.
Joe Walsh releases his fourth. Hall & Oates released a
dude.
live one.
Bob Seger is with the Silver Bullets now. It's Bob Seger and the Silver Bullets.
We also get David Gilmour's debut.
Oh, that's right. Cool. I forgot about that album.
More Commodores, more Foghat. I'm into June now. We get Darkness on the Edge of Town by Bruce Springsteen.
Mm-hmm.
Peter Gabriel by Peter Gabriel. That's his second. Another missed opportunity. Here we go. Whitesnakes. Their first official release. It's just called Snakebite. Only has 4 tracks and was only released in the UK.
And then below that, The Cars debut. The Cars.
Yeah,
self-titled.
Nice. What hits were on that? Spawned several hit singles. Just What I Needed, My Best Friend's Girl, and Good Times. I pretty much had all their hits on their first album.
I'm in touch with.
We're not done yet. We get Dire Straits' debut.
Oh man,
that one has Sultans of Swing on it, which is just one of my least favorite songs ever.
Yeah, I know. This is one that I don't know, we'll never find common ground on. I love Dire Straits and you hate Dire Straits, and I don't think we'll ever overlap.
I don't know. I haven't heard anything I've liked by them, but I hate that song for sure. Yeah. Foreigner Double Vision. That's their second. Bob Dylan. What number is this? 18th. Okay, not as much as I thought.
I didn't know that was Dire Straits' debut. That's my favorite album of theirs. Got all my favorites.
Nice.
Bob Dylan.
Talking Heads. Is this their first? It's their second. Interesting. What else we got here? Wow. A Light July. Dolly Parton still cranking out albums. She's been doing that since the 60s.
Yeah, she mainly just writes music now, I feel like.
We're now at the end of the 80s. Moving into August. Chic. We get their Say Chic. That's their famous one, I believe.
Boston, Don't Look Back. Every Boston album artwork looks the same, man. It's all the same, like UFO and same color scheme.
Yeah, good point. Who Are You by The Who? More Hall & Oates. We get Devo. I think that's, it's their debut. Nice.
Oh, sweet.
Sammy Hagar again, still rocking
loves that
along.
Color Red. You weren't kidding.
Yeah, he kind of steered into that a lot, I think.
Oh, dude,
he still does.
Players Danger Zone. It's a good one.
Where's this one? Who's that?
Player does the song Baby Come Back. Baby Come Back. I don't know if it's on that album because for some reason that album doesn't have a link. So
I see. Yeah, I see. I see what you're talking about.
So I don't know if that's
Scorpions Live. This year's got some good stuff, but so far not topping 76. Molly Hatchet's debut with just the most brutal artwork you've ever seen for what is absolutely not.
Dude, that is hilarious.
Looks like that album
like
will
Dark
be.
Souls.
It's a painting entitled Death Dealer, and Molly Hatchet is just like, I'm flirting with disaster.
Dude, that is awesome. That is so
please go
hardcore.
back and listen to that song. Please go back and listen to Flirting with Disaster and tell me he doesn't sound like Kermit the Frog. Like there's a couple parts where he's like, "On life's been burning faster," and it's just literally Kermit. All right, here's an interesting thing. On September 18th, we get 4 albums that drop at the same time. We get Ace Frehley, Gene Simmons, Paul Stanley, and Peter Criss. So the 4 dudes in Kiss all go solo the same day.
That's crazy. I didn't know that.
And their artwork all kind of is the same. And on the thank yous, they all thank each other. It's pretty funny. It's like very, very planned out. But it actually would be pretty fun for us to go listen to all 4 of those. I'm pretty sure Ace Frehley was the only one that had any like good stuff on there. The other guys, I'm pretty sure, were just not good at all. But I haven't gone and listened for myself. So
yeah, we'll have to listen to that. That's interesting. I had no clue that happened. That's so cool.
Styx, Pieces of 8. That is their 8th.
Ramones releasing another. Funkadelic Blondie, Parallel Lines. Leo Sayer has took him.
Here's an album that's throwing Chicago's numbering off. They just released an album called Hot Streets, so they're just. And the next one will be 12. You know,
Yeah,
it's like
they're just
like,
messing
guys,
themselves up, man.
Billy Joel's 52nd Street.
Great album.
AC/DC, If You Want Blood, You've Got It. Live album. Their first live album. Only live album released during Bon Scott's lifetime. Hey, we get Toto, their debut.
Oh, let's go.
Which includes Hold the Line. A couple others, but Hold the Line's the biggest one.
I didn't know Hold the Line was from their debut. Sweet.
And we're in November. We get the debut from The Police. A lot of debuts coming in.
Hey.
Judas Priest, Killing Machine.
The Police.
Bob Marley releases Babylon by Bus live album. Shakedown Street by the Grateful Dead. Emerson, Lake and Palmer. That's their 7th. Parliament released Motor Booty Affair. Can't go wrong with that title.
Yeah, dude, Parliament and their album titles are just great. They're too good. Well, Steely Dan's Greatest Hits. Nice.
Rose Tattoo's debut comes out this year. That's pretty cool. They inspired a lot of bands.
Steve Miller
Although
Band's Greatest Hits.
Don't think they were massively huge by themselves. The Doobie Brothers, Minute by Minute, coming out in December.
Oh yeah, that's a good one. That's a redeeming one, release. But it's still not enough at all for
Quiet
this year.
Riot second, and then that pretty much closes out this year.
Kind of a weak
Marvin
year.
Gaye.
Yeah,
there's some stuff, but I think I'm looking forward to 1979 to bring it home.
Let's see. Can it overtake 76, which is definitely our number one above all right now? All right. Jumping into 79, we've got
Scorpions' Love Drive. That's their 6th.
Their 6th, nice.
It was a major evolution of the band's sound. Okay, except debut solo album. Or not solo, just debut album. Pretty cool. How about Sister Sledge, We Are Family? Great one.
That is a great one. Goodness.
Def Leppard released their first thing. It's an EP called the Def Leppard EP. It is absolutely atrocious looking.
I mean, you're getting exactly what they said. Def Leppard on the front. That's funny.
There's only like 2 or 3 songs.
John Denver only took 13 albums to do a self-titled.
Well, we get Black Flag's debut as well, so that's cool.
Ooh. Scrolling down a little bit. George Harrison decided after 8 albums to do a self-titled as well.
Gotta do it. 8 in, like, you know what? Fuck it.
I'm not seeing a whole lot.
This year is not as much as I thought it would be.
You're right. I am like, oh, dude, Supertramp's Breakfast in America. That's a big one. One of their biggest, if not.
Journey's Evolution, which has Lemon Touch and Squeeze In, and then
it's my favorite song.
Others.
It's like one of my favorite Journey songs.
That's the only like big hit, but they have another couple songs on there that I like.
Van Halen 2,
Sweet and Simple, which is one of my favorite Journey songs.
What was on Van Halen
2? Let's talk about that one. Yeah, this one had You're No Good, Dance the Night Away, Somebody Get Me Doctor, Bottoms Up, Out of Love Again, Light Up the Sky, Spanish Fly, DOA, Women in Love.
I love Dance the Night Away. That was one of my favorites as a kid.
Is that Dance the Night Away?
Yep.
Is that one?
Yeah.
Yeah, so I mean, cool stuff on this album, but nowhere near the first one.
Oh yeah, not even close.
That first one is. I thought they would be closer than that.
I remember when we did recently on an episode where we did like the bands who, when we did, I was on Hootie. We kind of talked about bands that their biggest album was their first, and I do think Van Halen was on that list. So, and I think Boston was on that list. So we're seeing a couple of the ones that we were talking about from then. All right, I'm moving into April. Triumph.
Motorhead, Bad Company, Frank Zappa. And then, yeah, I think we're good to move into April. Dude, this is
a weak year. Yeah.
This is a weak year. I thought this year would be way better. Blackfoot. Cool band. Kiss Dynasty.
Yeah, I'm just not seeing anything that's standing out to me.
Nothing I really want to bring up. I'm in June.
That's what I'm saying. I'm like looking through like, oh wait, Dolly. Oh no, that's not what I was thinking.
This year is going to need a whole lot of
later half, second half, if it wants to do anything.
Yeah, I mean, I'm in July. The B-52s, their debut. That's something. AC/DC Highway to Hell. That's huge.
There we go. Man, they were having...
Chic drops it again. Was Highway to Hell the last album? Yeah, the last album with Bon Scott. Yep.
So then their next one would be Back in Black.
REO Speedwagon released 9 Lives. I guess it would be Back in Black. Yeah, because I think Back in Black came out in 1980. Yeah.
80, right?
I think it's 80.
Yeah, I think it is 80 also.
I think so. The band Can releases the album Can, and it's their 10th.
Jeez.
What?
Huh?
Iggy Pop releases his 3rd. I'm in August now. Jimmy Buffett releases Volcano. Beautiful album art, and although somewhat dated. And yeah, that's a big one. What songs are on that? Obviously Volcano, but what else? Fins. You know Fins? Fins to the left, fins to the right.
I don't think so. I need to, like I said,
if you
I
ever
haven't
go
listened
into
to a whole...
Margaritaville, all these songs will be playing.
I've never been into Margaritaville, actually.
They're pretty cool. I've never eaten at one, but they all have stores and stuff. You go wander around. It's got a good vibe.
Yeah, I've always wanted to go in one. Like, I don't know why, but like, never spent a whole lot of time doing any beach stuff. But man, sitting like in a tropical area, like drinking a margarita, listening to Jimmy Buffett does sound great. Even though I've never done it, it just sounds nice.
Yep. It's the idea. Yeah.
The idea of it is beautiful.
Led Zeppelin's final album, In Through the Outdoor, comes out. Pat Benatar, that's her debut.
And that's because John Bonham dies in 80, right?
That sounds right.
Do you think John Bonham... September 25th, 1980.
So Kool and the Gang released Ladies Night. That's their 11th studio album and their first major success. 11 albums they've been doing this. Like, God damn, nothing's working. And then boom, Don't Give Up, Kids.
Then they killed
Foreigner release Head Games. Judas Priest has a live album. Oh, Frank Zappa releases Joe's Garage Act 1. Nice. That's one of his most famous, if not his most famous. Whitesnake released Love Hunter. Look at the album cover on that. That's crazy.
Yeah, it is. It looks like a Scorpions one.
Cheap Trick released Dream Police. That's huge.
Dude, I forgot
Eagles
about that
The Long
song.
Run. That's pretty big. Also, just quality album art. I love the simple. U2's debut. It's called U2 3.
U2 3. Yeah, I was like, that's funny. U2 3.
The Who, Quadrophenia. That's a huge album for them.
Leonard Cohen. Oh, Quadrophenia? Yeah, that is. Big one for them.
Sammy Hagar's Street Machine. I don't know that there was a lot on that one as far as hits. Could be. I'm saying I don't know. Fleetwood Mac released Tusk.
Reba McEntire's second album. I didn't notice her first. We must have skimmed over it.
Where's she listed?
She is in September, towards the bottom. But I did not see when her first album was. I don't know how.
Wow, I did not realize she started in the 70s. I thought she was like 90s. That's crazy.
She looks really young in that album artwork, like really young. So,
Bob Marley and the Wailers moving into October.
Bob's about to die, or did die, in 79.
There we get Prince's Prince.
Okay.
Which has I Want to Be Your Lover. A few others, including Why You Want to Treat Me So Bad, Sexy Dancer, Still Waiting, I Feel For You. What else we got? Cher. What number is this for her? 16th. Jesus.
We got
ABBA, more greatest hits. Stevie Wonder.
Elton John.
Oh, Molly
Styx.
Hatchet released Flirtin' with Disaster. Another just insane album work.
Dude, who is Molly Hatchet? I don't know this
They're
band.
like Leonard Skinner too.
Okay.
I'm sure you know Flirtin' with Disaster.
Yeah, I think I know that one. But goodness, their album artworks are so cool.
Lots in this area here.
But nothing that's really standing out as like crazy.
I'm in November now. Iron Maiden.
Yeah, I went down in November as well.
It's their debut EP, although I don't think a lot of people count that as like their first release.
Oh, dude. Big one down here. Pink Floyd's The Wall comes out this year.
Yeah, that's huge.
That might be the biggest one I've seen
I
for
don't
the
know
year.
that it's enough.
Oh, no,
Well,
it's
and
not
Highway to
enough.
Hell.
Highway to Hell, that's right. I don't think those are enough.
Those two.
But those,
I don't think that's
those
enough,
are
yeah.
the highlights of the year, I guess. For sure.
Well, The Clash released London Calling. That's pretty big.
That is a big album of theirs as well. So that one's pretty good too.
And that's it. That wraps up this episode.
Yep. So 1976, best
The
year,
undisputed king.
undisputed in the 70s. Not the year I thought it was going to be.
I thought it would for sure be 79, 78.
Yep. Man, I like though that in both our decades that we've done the 60s and now the 70s are complete, that both of the years that have won were not the years we thought would be going in.
Yep. 65 and 76 are the kings so far. Now we have to go back through at the end. We're going to do 80s, 90s, thousands, and tens. And we're going to have to go back through and pit them all against each other. We'll have to figure out the best way to do that. But
Yeah, for sure.
that's where we are now.
But man, this has been fun. I'm learning a lot.
Oh, yeah. Same. Yeah, I keep yawning and I have to mute myself when I yawn. I don't know why. I'm not tired at all. Don't yawn all day. We hit record, I yawn 42 times an episode. Like,
isn't like the science
I don't
behind,
know what it is.
Isn't the science behind yawning that oh god, I just recently
Is it like a
looked this
focus
up.
thing or something?
Yes, yeah, it's like some kind of like attempt at a reset or yawning there. I'm trying to remember, but it has nothing to do with being tired, but due to how the body works, when you are tired, you yawn. I can't remember what it is though, specifically about what
So
your
it ends up
body's
being
trying to
associated
do.
with being tired. Yeah.
Yeah, it gets associated with being tired, but it's not. It's something completely different. Like, but I'll have to do my research again because I can't remember. It was just one of those random like read something and then like and then move along, and that information is no longer with me. But that's all right.
Yeah, that's most information for me. But anyway, you wanna bring us home?
Yep. So don't forget to check us out. We're on YouTube. We'd love those subscriptions, like our videos, leave comments. We enjoy all of it. We also have our socials. We're on TikTok and Instagram. Like and follow on those. And then we have a Patreon, one tier at $5 a month. It's going to give you access to our private Discord, a shout out on our episodes, and the ability to vote on future topics and help give us ideas on content. So check us out there. And this has been Melomaniax.